What is good, everyone? Just waiting for people to get in here like normal. Waiting for people to get in. This should be live on Twitter, live on YouTube. Welcome everyone who is in. Just wait for this to fill up a little bit. Happy Friday to everyone. Alrighty here. Alrighty, we will give it until the 1 minute mark and then we will get started. Got a 9-game slate tonight for the NBA. So, wanted to keep this mostly as a Q&A today. Not going to sit here and talk about DFS picks or going to sit here and talk about player prop picks that I have for hours. I want to just hear questions. So feel free to throw in questions and we will get started right away. Just wanted to remind everyone while the first questions come in, while more people enter, that Thrive Fantasy is now a new partner of Burd. Thrive Fantasy is a daily fantasy sports app for player props, which is basically perfect for anybody who's watching this, because if you love player props, this is likely for you. You get presented 10 player prop options, pick 5 of them for your lineup for the NBA, and each player prop gets a certain value. So the more risky the prop, the more points it is worth. So if a prop is plus 120, let's say on the over, then that is going to be more points than a minus 110 bet. If it hits, the goal is to accumulate the most points, and the most points wins a cash prize. If you sign up today under the promo code BURD, BURD, you'll receive an instant matchup bonus up to $50 on your deposit of $20 or more. You download Thrive Fantasy at the App Store, Play Store, or visit their website at thrivefantasy.com. Be sure to use the promo code BURD. BURD. All right, let's get started here. Ask any questions you have, regarding player props, whether or DFS as well. I will be around to answer it all. First question we got here. Do you like Grant PRA, so points plus rebounds plus assists, over 29.5? I asked on your Discord channel where you always help us out. Yes, so for those of you who aren't aware, be sure to check out the Patreon. We got a great Discord channel in there. We're going to look at Jeremy Grant right now. Pistons against they are playing the Suns tonight. So let me just take a quick look here. So we got PRA. Let me just look at the line. Yeah, so 29. So Jeremy Grant was killing it beginning of the year. Now he's begun to slow it down a little bit. Problem is, I really like this Phoenix Suns defense. They are extremely good, and I have a feeling that the line is accounting for that here. So the Suns pretty much ranked top 10, 5 of the league in most defensive categories here. So we're looking at opponent points per game. They rank 5th. We're looking at opponent rebounds per game. They rank 15th. So average in that. Opponent assists per game. They rank 3rd. Opponent field goal percentage. They rank 14th. Now we have Jeremy Grant here averaging 23.7 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 2.9 assists per game. So it's kind of pretty much right at his total on his average. Looking at his last few games here, 27 points, 18 points, 14 points, 26, 25, 11, 21. So he's been a little bit inconsistent. I am going to have to say that I do like I think this is a tough one because on one hand, Jeremy Grant could get very near this points by, points, rebounds, assists. He could just get there very close to it by just points. That being said, the Suns have a really good defense. I think this game could be a blowout, so I would probably stay away just because of the blowout potential, just because of the Suns' good defense. Fournier over 18.5 points. So yeah, this was a question that I answered in the Discord. That being said, the Bulls are so the one thing with Fournier is he's very, very inconsistent. He'll go for like 25 points in a game and then he'll come back and have 11 the next game, which is a problem. But the Bulls, they play fast pace. They don't have a good defense. So I do like that about it, but I would be a little bit concerned about just him like having an off night, because apparently like he just like goes and switches off between good nights and bad nights. So I'm not huge on Fournier over either, despite the fact that it is a great matchup. Westbrook over 8.5 assists against the Miami Heat. So Westbrook back tonight. The Miami Heat rank, where we got this here. Miami Heat went ranked 21st in opponent assists per game, so they're not really good at guarding assists. Westbrook really has been dishing a lot. Just to read off, let me just get up his last few games in terms of assists here. But just to give some background, we got Westbrook so he's averaging 9.5 on the season. Last few games he's gone for 10 assists, 8, 4, 7, 6, 8. So yeah, he didn't clear it for a while, but then at the beginning of the year, 15, 12, 11, 11. Last game he got it. I do like over 8.5 assists tonight. I think it's a good matchup for him against the Heat. I think Westbrook is playing really well lately against this. He had it against the Heat last game. Heat aren't good guarding assists. I do like over 8.5 assists. Kawhi props if Paul George sits. Assists at over 4.5 caught my eye. So they are playing against, I believe it's Boston tonight. Okay. So they're playing against Boston tonight. Boston is they're really good defensively, but if there's no Paul George, Kawhi's going to have a pretty big game in a game where they're going to need him. Opponent assists per game, Boston ranks 5th, but Kawhi's averaging around 5 assists per game, I believe. So over 4.5 assists, I think that there is some value there, especially if Paul George doesn't play. I'm going to just check into these box scores real quick. So yeah, he is averaging 5.3 per game on the season. Last few games he's gone for 3 assists, 5, 3, 3, 8. So yeah, he hasn't cleared it in 3 of the last 4. But if Paul George is out, I think he'll have more usage. So I don't mind that if Paul George sits. But if Paul George doesn't sit, I wouldn't touch it. Do you prefer Vucevic over 24.5 points or over 11.5 rebounds? So I like Vucevic in general tonight. I think that he's a great DFS play. He has a great matchup against the Chicago Bulls. So just to give you some background on the Bulls here, Bulls ranked 27th in the NBA in opponent points per game at 117.1. They rank 18th in the NBA in opponent points per game in the paint at 47.0. So, yeah, they can't defend. I was huge on Julius Randle against the Bulls earlier in this week. I played him in DFS, and it really worked out. I think that if I had to go one way, I would probably go points over the rebounds here for Vucevic. Maybe even throw in a combined points plus rebounds prop if you were able to find that. Yes, he's averaging 22.5 on the season, averaging 11.5 boards. But I'm not too – the Bulls are a pretty decent rebounding team, actually. Let me just get there. Yeah, they're 7th in opponent rebounds per game, so I'm not too sold on his rebounding tonight. I'm more sold on his scoring because of the Bulls' poor defense and because of the poor guarding in the paint. So yeah, just look at he has been killing rebounds here the last few games, but I'm still leaning towards points for this one. But if you could find a points plus rebounds, I think I'd prefer that over everything. Harden over 10.5 assists. So yeah. Okay, this is interesting. Toronto, usually really good defense, but Toronto ranks 27th in opponent assists per game. They've been letting up a decent amount of points this year. James Harden has been ditching nonstop. I think Kyrie and KD are going to have a huge game tonight, which means that Harden's probably going to dish out a ton. Harden's averaging 12 assists per game since he's came to this Brooklyn Nets team. Last few games, let's read it out here. 14 assists, 11, 15, 8, 11, 11, 12, 12, 14. I like it against this favorable matchup in Toronto. Harden over 10.5 assists. Who do I like the most from OKC now that Maledon is out? Oh, Maledon was so I didn't actually see that. Did that just happen? He just okay. That was literally right as I was starting my stream that he was ruled out. So I was just getting everything ready. So okay, so with Maledon out, even if Maledon was playing, he's not. But with Maledon out, my favorite guy, and because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's out, George Hill's out, Hamidou Diallo is going to go nuts tonight. And by nuts, I mean nuts for Hamidou Diallo. But yeah, I like Hamidou Diallo as my number one guy there in OKC. If you want to go from guards, if we're talking about big men, I think Horford and Bazley could have big nights as well in terms of usage, especially because they're playing a Minnesota team that can't guard the paint. So I like. Okay, so let me rephrase my answer here. In terms of guards, Diallo will be the best one. Dort's out also. Diallo is the guy. In terms of forwards, I do like Bazley and Horford both a lot tonight. Zion Williamson over 23.5 points. So You would think that the Pacers are a tough matchup considering, I mean, they have Miles Turner, who may be Defensive Player of the Year right now, averaging 4 blocks a game, but they allow 48.2 points per game in the paint, which ranks 23rd in the NBA. So they're not as good as you would think in the paint on defense. I think Zion could definitely go over 23.5 tonight. Paul George, 30-plus points against Boston. Don't like it. All right, keep them coming. Keep the questions coming in. I got some more time here. So I'll give you, while I'm waiting for questions, I'll give you a few DFS plays of mine that I do like tonight, talking DFS. And of course, general DFS production correlates to prop betting somewhat. So, all right. So stars that I like on the slate: Jimmy Butler at 8,300 against Washington, Bradley Beal 9,500 against Miami, Kyrie Irving 9,100 against Toronto, Kevin Durant 9,600 against Toronto as well, and Nikola Vucevic, who we just spoke about, against Chicago at 8,500. Those are my stars that I like on the slate tonight. All right, we got another few questions. Can Van Vliet have another big game? Yes, because Brooklyn cannot play defense. Let me give you some stats on Brooklyn quickly. Brooklyn ranks 28th in the NBA in opponent points per game at 117.8. They rank, where are they at? 3-point percentage. They're actually better than I thought, but 3-pointers made. Okay, you know what? I think he still does have a big game because just general defense of the Nets is horrible, and I think that anyone for Toronto is a good play tonight. Actually, specifically, I'll give you specific. I think Van Vliet could have a big game, but I think that my mid-range play for DFS would be Norman Powell, $6,700, because he's been very nice in replacing OG Anunoby. Gobert over 12.5 rebounds. So the Jazz go up tonight against where are the Jazz on here? Are there even any player? Okay. Yeah. Utah's against Charlotte. So yeah, he goes up against Cody Zeller. Cody Zeller is actually Charlotte's been better than you think defending the paint. They rank 15th in opponent points in the paint per game. But look, we're looking at rebounds here. My bad. I thought you said points. Okay. Opponent rebounds per game. So Charlotte, they rank 23rd in opponent rebounds per game at 46.3. Rudy Gobert, just to look at his rebounding stats here. Yeah, so Gobert's averaging 13.4 rebounds a game. He's playing against a not good Charlotte team in terms of rebounding. Let me just see how he's been doing his last few games here. Yeah, he hasn't got it the last 4 games, but I think he could get it against a bad Charlotte team in terms of rebounding here. So I do like it. Yep. Zion over 2.5 assists. So let me dig into this one a little bit. We got an Indiana Pacers team who ranks 22nd in opponent assists per game. We got Zion Williamson, who, I'd probably prefer Zion points, 23.5, I believe. Zion's averaging 2.5 assists on the season. His last few games, he has gone for 6 assists, 2, 4, 7. So he is passing a little bit more. So yeah, I do like it. Jaylen Brown is out. Is Jason Tatum over points a good option? So let me check I don't think Jason Tatum's line on DraftKings is out right now because of that. Yeah, they took away all the lines. You want to know who I think a good play is, though? So yeah, obviously you'd think Tatum is going to do well. But Kemba Walker, I don't know what his prop is because they took him all down. Kemba Walker's at 6,500 on DFS. I know he's been a little bit banged up this year, so he hasn't really done too much. But cool stat here from NBA Fantasy Labs that I found. Let me just get to it. Jaylen Brown. Where is he? Jaylen Brown. Okay. So Kemba Walker has seen a plus 14.2% usage rate increase with Brown and Smart off the court this season. Obviously, Brown is out. Smart is out. I think Kemba Walker could have a pretty solid night. So my answer is, yeah, Tatum will do well. I think that Kemba Walker could have a pretty big night as well. Yeah, Keegan Bradley, first place of golf DFS, tied first place of the golf tournament, playing really well, helping all my DFS lineups out. If you didn't know, I started up a golf DFS show with my friend Glenn this week on my YouTube channel. I had Keegan Bradley at second in my model, and he is currently tied for first. So on day 2, pretty 1% owned in DFS, pretty nice. All right. Norman Powell over points. So yeah, let me check Norman Powell's points prop. But I did mention I like him because he's playing Brooklyn. He has been playing really well lately. His prop is at, oh god, I was gonna say I was on the points plus rebounds plus assist tab and it came up at 25.5. I was like, what? All right, his points prop is at 19.5. 19.5 is pretty high despite it being the Nets and despite the fact that Norman Powell is going to get a lot of time. Let me check his last few games. Yeah, so I like him for DFS, but 19.5 points. So he's gone, okay, never mind. He's been even better than I thought. He's gone 23, 26, 24, 20, 23. Yeah, run it. Run it. Over points for Norman Powell over 19.5. Do you like Tatum over 26.5 or Kemba over 18.5? Oh, I honestly don't. I don't mind both them at all. I think both could hit. If I had to choose one, I'd probably go with. Let me just check on Kemba quick. Does Kemba Walker keep? Okay, hold on. Yeah, so I'm probably leaning Kemba Walker over 18. Honestly, it's pretty similar for me. I like them both. I don't want to give one over the other, but I think that I'm pretty confident in both. I do like Kemba over 18.5, and I do like Tatum over 26.5. Yes, Powell is a good play at over 19.5 points. Siakam over 3.5 assists against a bad Brooklyn Nets defense. I'm going to just take a quick look at Siakam right here. Brooklyn is, I'm trying to look where they are in opponent assists per game. Where are they? 18th in opponent assists per game. That's not great. Siakam averaging 4.6 assists per game. Goes up against a Brooklyn team, obviously, that lets up a ton of points. And yeah, but Siakam will have a game where he has like 8 assists, and then you will have a bunch of games where he has 2 assists. But I do like Siakam over 3.5 against the Nets. Does Thaddeus Young keep up his hot play? Otto Porter Jr. is out, so yes, he's actually in my. So I gave you my star plays on DFS. Jimmy Butler 8,300, Bradley Beal 9,500, Kyrie Irving 9,100, Kevin Durant 9,600, Nikola Vucevic 8,500. Now we have mid range here. Norman Powell 6,700, Kemba Walker 6,500, Thaddeus Young 6,200, Al Horford 6,100. So yeah, I think Thaddeus Young keeps up his hot play. The guy's playing point forward right now. Cheeseburgers or lamps. Also, Anthony Edwards over points. So yeah, have to go cheeseburgers on that one. That being said, Anthony Edwards over points. We got Anthony Edwards against the OKC Thunder, who don't have a good defense. Edwards is at 15.5 points. Edwards has been playing really, really well lately. OKC is, let me just grab some stats from OKC. They rank 24th in opponent points per game. Like I said, they have a bunch of people out. That's not going to help. Oh, another guy that I didn't mention before that I like on OKC tonight for DFS purposes, 3,500, Kenrich Williams. That being said, okay, so Anthony Edwards, let me take a quick look at Anthony Edwards. Keep the questions coming in, by the way. I got some time. All right, Anthony Edwards. It's taking forever to load, my bad. Yeah, he has been playing really well lately. 14, 13. So he's at 15.5, but I think that he'll get it. He's been like kind of around that number. Hasn't always been getting it, but I do like him over 15.5 tonight against OKC. Aiden over 12.5 boards against the Detroit Pistons. Aiden over boards has been like free money this year. Detroit can't rebound. 22nd in the NBA in opponent rebounds per game. You got Mason Plumlee down there. Send it. I like it. Aiden over 12.5 boards. I like it. Any other questions? DFS, props, anything you got? I'll read off my scrub plays that I like also. So I just mentioned Kenrich Williams at 3,500. Also like Denny Avdija at 3,900. Hamidou Diallo, you could consider him mid-range or scrubs, but I mentioned I like him, 5,200. Any other questions we got? Just for fun, who are your top 5 NBA players ranked in order right now? Tough question. I'll give you not an order. I'll give you not an order. It's probably right now. Wow, tough question. So LeBron, KD, and Kawhi are definitely, I would say, comfortably top 3. And then you have guys, I still would put Curry in the top 5, and I would probably put Giannis there as well. That's where I am right now on that. LaVine over points against the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic rank 14th in opponent points per game at 111.6. Now just going to take a quick look at LaVine's been going off. This guy should be an all-star this year. Hopefully the Knicks acquire him in the offseason. But that being said, going to take a quick look. Let me just take a look at what his number and odds are. We got 24.5. Yeah, I like 24.5. Bam over 4.5 assists. Dragic over 13.5 points. I pretty much will not decline a Heat over tonight against the Wizards. Honestly, I think I like both those. I think Dragic could definitely hit over 13.5, and Bam, I mean, with the scoring that should happen in that game, I would think Bam should be okay with 4.5. He's averaging 5.3 on the season. And let me just give you some quick Wizards stats. Obviously, they're last in the NBA in opponent points per game. Assists, they're not as bad on, so that's actually interesting. They are 24.3 assists allowed per game, which is 11th. So, I mean, I still do like Bam for assists just because he is averaging 5.3 on the season. He had 6 last game against them. You only have to go over 4.5. Then before that, he went in a run where he hit that every time. So he actually had 2 games where he didn't, 2 and 4, and then went 7, 6, 5. Not, yeah, I like it. Mason Plumlee over 9.5 points against the Phoenix Suns. Okay, Phoenix is, like I said, Phoenix is a good defensive team. They actually can't guard the paint, though. Their one weakness is a defense. 21st in the NBA in opponent points in the paint per game at 47.4. Mason Plumlee averaging 9.4 points on the season. Comes in, last few games has gone 17, 6, 17, 15, 10. So he's cleared it 4 of his last 5. That is a go for me. Yes, do it. Over 9.5. Go for it. I like it. If you like Diallo in DFS, do you like his points plus rebounds plus assists? It was 27.5, but is temporarily down now. So yeah, I think Diallo, like by default, is going to have to get huge minutes tonight. You have no SGA. You have no George Hill. You have no Lou Dort. You have no Maladon. So who do they even have left on that team? He's by default, going to probably play 30, 35 minutes in this game? If he does, let me just read you his last few games. He played 32 minutes last game, yeah. So I expect him in the 30s for minutes. Last game, he went 16 and 9 and then had 1 assist. So he was 16 plus 9 plus 3. He was at 26. He's at 27.5, but now is down. Yeah, so he hasn't got to that number since he had a few games earlier in the year that were very good that he got there. But I think he probably he could probably go near 20 points tonight, and I think he definitely could hit it for sure. It is a high number, though. I do want to stress that. I'd rather play him in DFS than go over PRA, but I do like PRA. If I had to choose a side, I would go over. What is the most likely game to be a blowout? Easily Phoenix-Detroit. But I could see Utah-Charlotte being one also, but I think easily Phoenix-Detroit. Any other questions before I head off? Once again, thank you all for coming in here. It's fun. So first of all, if you haven't checked out on Sal Vetri's YouTube channel. I was on a stream earlier in the day. Me and Sal spoke about Super Bowl props for around an hour. Great live stream up on his channel, so be sure to check that out. It's up now. You could rewatch it. We answered a bunch of questions. We went through quarterback props, MVP props. We went through first player to score props, rushing props, receiving props, tight ends, everything. So that was a good stream. And yeah, just be sure to check that out if you haven't yet. And all right, yeah, I'm going to head off right now. Thank you all for asking questions. Thanks all for watching. Really appreciate it. I will be back on Sunday to answer all last minute Super Bowl betting prop questions. So be sure to tune in for that. Goodbye, everyone, and good luck with your prop betting tonight.